I guess I got warmed up with all this stuff and sharing all this information with reference to my leadership experiences and things that I have encountered and overcame in my career. And something that came to mind, something that really still sticks in my head with reference to a lot of people that I have shared time and space with. And I always, I think it's got a lot to do with my exposure and my growth in the Marine Corps. That the rank and everything is important, but it doesn't replace our being human beings. And like I've always said before, I don't believe that people are equal as it pertains to values, but we are equal as human beings. We are, and so those opportunities that we have to share with each other are significant. They're important. And so I was thinking about all the people that I served with, and shoot, it's been a lot of them had either died from natural causes or by suicide. Specifically, in my time in the military and as a federal law enforcement supervisor, and and I look at the people in leadership that were above me that failed to do anything for them or their families. Most recently, there was an incident about almost 2 years ago, with reference to a sergeant at a tribal police department in Arizona that was involved in a shootout and was 100%, he's disabled for life as a result of being shot in the line of duty. And the agency I worked at supervises that organization. It's called they call it a Public Law 638 contract. And what I find interesting, folks, is this: is in his instance, they instead of helping him, they hurt him. They terminated his employment while he was in disability, and they just went about it the wrong way, forcing him to seek help elsewhere, political, anybody that could help him get some kind of benefits. And I've seen this my entire career. In the military, it wasn't as much. The Marine Corps really did a good job taking care of Marines. The Navy did. The Army does not take care of anybody. And so what's very interesting about this whole thing is that the people that were involved in the termination of this police officer, of this sergeant, supervisory police officer, were former Marines. They were, and the advice they were giving the tribal organization was pretty hard to swallow if you think about it. And it's all based on the personality of one person. I won't say his name, but he knows who he is. They call him Joe. And he's the epitome of the Blue Falcon. There's a thing we call it in the military, especially when you're infantry. And this guy is it. He's a turd. The guy is, and he speaks of himself in an omniscient, very strong stature and authoritative manner, but the guy is a turd. And everything he has touched has turned to garbage. He talks of himself as if he's, God's sent to law enforcement and law enforcement leadership. But the man, even when you listen to him about his time in the Marine Corps, you can tell that some of it's just bullshit. Years ago, this is, almost 20 years ago, he was an instructor at our academy, and I had just came on from another federal agency to Indian Affairs. And this guy was bragging about beating children, literally teenagers, with his asp, striking somebody in the back of the leg and causing the leg to get split open, and how he got away with the egregious behavior, saying that, things that you do as law enforcement or a police officer, and kind of defending his aggressive tone and behavior. The same day I saw him confront a colleague, a coworker, aggressively, got on his face, and they were threatening each other. Mr. Pat Ragsdale, who was our big boss back in those days, guy had to get up. The guy, Pat Ragsdale, is also a former Marine, and he had to get up and like split up a fight. The director of the organization had to split up a fight between these two guys, and that's the mentality. That's that machismo. You know, I can do no wrong, and do as I say, not as I do kind of behavior. It's sad to say that, you know, just like shit, this guy floated to the top, but the way I'm hoping and praying is that he's found out for just the way he is, his behavior. He tried to do stuff to me as well, but he lost, and I don't gloat over it. I just feel sad that it's a fellow Marine that did this, that it came from someone that may have spent time at MCRD San Diego the same way as I did, and maybe deployed the same as I did, or experienced the great things, the great exposures of proper leadership the Marine Corps instills in every Marine at any level, from private all the way up to general. I'm doing this video because I kind of got like built up with reference to all this other stuff that happened and things I discovered most recently. And what I want to do is tell you, don't be this person. If you're in a leadership position or organization, don't be full of yourself. These are people. These are human beings around you. They have feelings, ideas, thoughts. Your impression on them will last their lifetime and the lifetime of the people in their families, since they will share positive and negative experiences with you, especially law enforcement. Like I actually, as a result of all these bad things that have happened over years, have participated or arranged the funerals of many of my people on my teams. As of late, when I worked in Texas, there was a couple of funerals that I either attended or helped put together because the family didn't have the resources or did not know how to go through the steps of doing it, because they've never had the breadwinner of the family die. And you know, just going into a full cycle of this, talking about that behavior, that mentality of terminating somebody or influencing the termination of a supervisory police officer, a sergeant of police in a tribal police department in Arizona, to influence that, to tell a tribal police department, yeah, you should fire him, just clean your hands from him, instead of saying, hey, what can we do to help? How do we get him the benefits he needs to feed his family and to move ahead in life? It's a big deal to me, and it should be to you as well. Not just if you're in any organization, whether it be law enforcement or not. Don't just wipe your hands and clean them and pass everything off to HR. That is not always HR's job. That is everybody in the leadership in the chain of command's job. And when you prove to your people in your organization that you care about everybody and their families, and you show that you're there to support them during good times and the worst of times, it sends a different signal. It sends a different message. It sends a message of that you're really a team and you really believe in what you're doing. I'm saying this, I'm just sharing it because I had to get this off my chest. Don't be like this former Marine fellow devil dog, because ultimately at the end, people will remember you for being that piece of shit and not being a real leader. Practice what you preach. Stand by your people. Admit when you're wrong. And also let your people know how much you care and appreciate them. They are important because without them, your organization cannot operate. My thoughts, just had to get this off my chest. Share your thoughts. I'll talk to you guys soon. I literally want to know what you're going to tell me. Bye.